Hello MBA entrance aspirants. Welcome to another session from Time, the market leader in test prep. Now, this is another of our attempts to help you understand a very crucial factor in your test prep and especially in the VARC section of your entrance exams. This is vocabulary building. So, in this session, the third in series, I'll give you essential strategies pertaining to vocabulary building. So please stay with me till the end. So let me first take you through all the stages that I had also discussed in the previous session. And if you have gone through that session, please do not forget to press the like and subscribe button so that you keep getting notifications for any new video that's uploaded. Okay, so the stages are: the first one, that you've never come across any word. So it's an entirely new word for you. You have not encountered this word at all. Then there could be a situation where you have some idea about that word, heard the word, but you do not have any clue as to what it means. So you have no idea of its definition. Heard the word, but cannot define it. You are familiar with a few words. Why? Because you have heard them in some context, or the tone of voice in which you hear it does give you some idea, but you have no other idea or greater idea about it at all. So this is that stage where you have familiarity with a few words. You may have a lot of such words which you may have heard other people use it, but you do not have a great idea or a complete idea of these words. So this is that stage where you do have some familiarity with words, but you are not able to use them or even define them. Familiarity with the word due to context or tone of voice. Then you're aware of the general or intended meaning but cannot explain it clearly. This also happens with quite a few of us when we just swim through words which you come across in context. So when we are able to gauge the overall idea of whatever we are reading, then even if when there are some words that we may not understand completely, we at times do not put in the effort to stop and look what they exactly mean. So this is that stage when you are aware of the general or intended meaning, the contextual meaning, but you cannot explain that meaning clearly. And we have a lot of such words which we are absolutely fluent with. So you know how the word is defined, what it means exactly, what is the nature of the word, what is the tone that that word conveys, what is the intensity of the strength of that word, whether it's a weak word or a strong word, and of course you are absolutely aware of its usage. No matter what, you are able to use that word in any context or in whichever context that word needs to be used in. So these are the various stages with regard to vocabulary, and if we have an idea of which stage with a group of words or with the particular word we are in, then it will help us move forward with slightly more ease than if we were not aware of it at all. So what are the effective vocabulary enhancement methods that we need to employ to ensure that we are on the right track? I have a list for you, and I'll discuss each of these in detail depending on what we consider the order of importance. So here's the first one, the keyword method. Then we have word lists, effusive reading, and RPS method. So as you can see, the RPS method is the one that I have given you in bold, and in today's session, I will give you a little more on this method. Okay, the remaining we'll take a look at later. Of course, you have an idea of reading, and I have continuously been telling you that reading is very important. Okay, so let's move on. So the RPS method, what is the expansion of this abbreviation RPS? The RPS method is expanded as the root word, prefix and suffix method. So R stands for root words, P for prefix and S for suffix. All of you may have an idea, at least quite a lot of an idea regarding prefixes and suffixes, and it is also possible that some of you may have some understanding of root words as well. So, because your understanding is not thorough, not full, let me give you greater clarity, or let's begin with this discussion pertaining to the first of these in the RPS method, the root word. So, what exactly does this term mean? What is a root word? We all know the word root. Okay, we've read about roots pertaining to plants, and the moment this word root is thrown at you, the first thing that probably would come in your mind is a plant, with roots and the point from which a plant grows. So what is a root word then? Be it something that relates with a plant or something that is about language, the word root has the same general meaning. What is that? A word or word part that forms the basis of new words through the addition of prefixes and suffixes. This is the definition that you need to know with regard to root words in English. But what does the term root mean? Root is nothing but origin. So root word, students, are those words which are drawn from other languages, and these words have been used in English. They may either be used as such or in combination with other groups of letters or other roots to form a totally new word. Now, you need to remember that we have quite a lot of root words that have been taken and incorporated into the English language, taken from languages of neighboring regions and incorporated into the English language. You need not go and find out what a root word exactly means in its parent language. So, we may have Greek root words, Latin root words. There are so many Greek and Latin root words that we come across in English. We may have French and other language words also, but it's not important that you go and check what that particular root means in its parent language or which language is it exactly borrowed from. So that's an endeavor that probably you may take up if you are very interested in epistemology, but because here we are focused on exam prep, please do not waste your time. Okay. So what is a root word? A root word can be defined as that word or word part that forms the basis of new words. And how is that possible? Through the addition of prefixes and suffixes. As I have already told you, quite a lot of root words are derived from Latin and Greek languages. Typically, a root word does not stand alone as a complete word. While this is generally what you have to bear in mind, you may come across some stray root words that are used the way they are in English. So, if there's a root word that's taken from a particular language, in rare cases, it may also be used the way it has been drawn from that language in the English language. One such word is cad. Okay, cad means fall, and it stands for a very wicked character, a person who has fallen in moral values. Okay, so this is just an example to help you understand that while generally a root word does not stand alone as a complete word, there are certain occasions, very rare ones of course, where this could be the case. So we continue, and understanding the meanings of common roots can help you work out the meanings of new words as you encounter them. Now, what does this mean? So, I told you that today's session pertains to those essential strategies, students, that will help you enrich your word power. So, when you come across any word in which there is a root word, now for this you have to of course try to know what roots are, what they mean, and then also consider the words that are formed using those root words. Okay, this has to be in place, and this will help you in understanding and then remembering a lot of words. So, understanding first what the meanings of common roots can help you work out the meanings of new words as you encounter them. So, please do not put the cart before the horse. Please do not work in the reverse order. First, learn first identify roots, know what they mean, and also take a look at the number of words that they give rise to. Then when you come across words that have this root that you are already aware of, and you remember what the meaning of that particular root word is, this will help you in gauging the meaning of the word and also remembering the definition of that word. Okay, I hope this is making sense. Quite a few words used in our daily language come from a root word. This is also something which a lot of us are not aware of because we have never bothered to stop and check this aspect. So, a lot of words which we use in our everyday conversation contain some very basic root words, and now at least that I have told you this and now you know that there is a need of this sort, please try to look at those words which you use and check whether there is a root word contained in them or not. Then once you pull out any prefixes or suffixes present, the root is usually what remains. So initially I told you that a root word is not used as such, and there are certain additions that are done to it. These are in the form of prefixes and suffixes, and in order to at times find out what exactly the root word in a given word is, what you need to do is to just remove the prefixes and suffixes. At times you may have only a prefix and a root word, you may have a root word followed by a suffix, or you may have both prefixes and suffixes and the root word is in the middle. Okay, so once you pull these add-ons, these groups of letters out, then what you are left with is the root word. Now, here are a few examples to help you understand what I told you just now. So, let's consider this word contradict. Now, contradict means something which is the opposite of what somebody else says. So, contradict has two root words. What are they? One is contra and the other is dict. What does contra mean? Contra means opposite. And from contra, there are so many words that we can think of. Controversy, contradiction. Okay, so contra means opposite and dict is to say. So, both of these are root words, and as you can see, this word has been formed by putting together two root words and there are no prefixes or suffixes in this word. So, this also is the case, a very common case, because there are so many words that are formed in this manner. Not just with two roots, but more than two roots also we have words that are formed in the English language, and we do come across them, but because we do not have an idea, or till so far we did not have this clarity, we may not be able to know whether there are any root words in those words at all. So, now is the time, stop, look up and then proceed. But preview has the prefix pre and the root word view. So, similar to what I told you just now, here's another word preview in which there are two forms, okay, two groups of letters. The word pre is a prefix, okay, it is placed before the root word which is view in this case. So, this is another way of forming words in English, and people, grammarians and linguists in English have put in these kind of combinations also in place. Then there's another combination, the word unfaithful, and in the word unfaithful we have the prefix un, the root faith and the suffix full. So, these are examples to help you understand what I meant with what I have given you at the beginning of this, or in the first sentence of this slide. Once you pull out any prefixes or suffixes present, the root is usually what remains. So, for this you need to know whether any given group of letters is actually a prefix or a suffix or a root word. So, if you try to put in effort to ensure that this is in place, you will certainly make a lot of progress in knowing a lot about words. So, this will help you gain and increase knowledge with regard to vocabulary development. Okay. Now, we have, I told you, quite a lot of root words that have been taken from Latin and Greek languages. So, in this session, I will take you through a few root words that have originated from Latin. Root words, meanings and the words that are derived from them should give you some clarity. And of course, in my next and upcoming sessions, I will tell you more about these and fill up the gaps. So, the root word here, as you can see in the first column, first cell is am or ami. So, am or ami means love or friendship also. And the word that you can think of is amiable. I'm sure amicable also may have come to your mind. We have amity also that you can associate with the root word am or ami. So, am, ami, love and example. So, if you work in this order, it will be easier for you to memorize not just the meanings of root words, but also the words that are formed using that particular root word. Then we have ben and bon. I told you students that there are so many roots in the words that we use commonly. So, here I have made sure that I use only those words that we use commonly. So, another is ben or bons. This is a root word, ben is a root word, bon is another, and both of these have their origin in Latin. They mean good or well, and benefactor, bona fide are the words that are formed from by using these root words. So, we have very simple words also. What are they? Does it ring a bell? Benefit. Okay. From benefactor, before benefactor, the word that should come to your mind should be benefit. And then beneficial, benediction. There are so many words which use this root word. Bon also has some roots in French. So, we have bon voyage. Somebody wishing somebody a happy journey. So, this is how we get to understand what these words mean, root words, and what words that we use contain these root words. Then we have circ or circum. These root words mean round or around, and we use the word circle, circumference, circumvent, etc. so commonly. These are the words that we know are formed using the root words circ or circum. Then we have dict. I repeat, dict, I've already told you earlier, it means to say. We have diction, dictation, etc. Or even words like predict. Okay, predict is a very commonly used word. We talk about predictions so often. So, all these words which we use in our everyday conversations are filled with root words. The effort should just be to stop, consider and try to remember the meanings of these root words. This will help you in not just remembering the meaning, but also using them correctly and effectively. Frac and frag. And both these root words mean to break. So, we have fraction. What is a fraction? Fraction is a part of a larger whole. So, fraction is something that is broken away from something bigger. A fragment is also the same. We also have fractious, which is an adjective, and it means or it is used to describe a person who loses his or her temper easily. Okay, so this is how we learn to understand why the root which is used to form that word is used and what other connotations it may have. Okay. So, I hope this gave you some clarity. And this brings us to the end of this session. As I said, in my next session, subsequent sessions, I will certainly give you more of these methods which will help you build on your vocabulary. So, please like, follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Time for Education.